Okay, so you have a full college degree, you seem like a cool person, but at our company, Penis Corp, we like to give our employees a little more time to really experience the job. So the best I can do for you now is minimum wage. But after 2 years, you can make $15 an hour. There is basically no good job you can get without an education, either a college one or you just know a skill that you can monetize. Because otherwise, if you're a blank slate, just vibing, knowing nothing, you can't offer the world anything other than being able to flip burgers. A lot of people try to escape their bad jobs by starting a business and become rich, but that is a double-edged sword on its own. Because when you are your own boss, you might just get lazy and get nothing done without someone forcing you to. And you would have made more money just making coffee at Baskin Robbins. Money is such an interesting topic because I grew up in a post-Soviet country where the average salary is $4,500 a year because of some funny stuff we were a part of in the past. And it takes time to recover from decades of bullshit. The salary is still higher than Atlanta, Georgia's salary after you accumulate how much child support Atlanteans have to pay. Even though the average salary here is a monthly salary in Canada or the US, I still saw people riding around in supercars. So let's do the math here. This G-Wagon costs around $120,000. The guy driving it is around 40 years old. By my mathematics, he would have needed to save every penny he got for 26.6 years to get this car. But he's not sitting hungry, nor is he butt-ass naked in the car, so he can most likely comfortably afford it. How? I was in university studying engineering or something like that, and I wanted not to be a burden on my family, so I got a night shift job in a call center as customer support for Americans. I was still doing YouTube at that time, and here's what the average day looked like for me, aka the daily routine of a 19-year-old trying to hold it together. I would wake up at an undesignated time, most likely 5 p.m, because my job started at 7 p.m. I would lift weights in my home gym and get in a hurry to get ready and then go take the subway for 1 hour and work from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. Subway doesn't open here until 6 a.m. so I had to take the taxi home that wasn't covered by my employer, and to be honest, like 20% of the paycheck was going to taxis because I lived in the Fallout wasteland. And when I got home, I would work on my YouTube videos, editing for a few hours, and then go to sleep. This was my routine for a year and few months. As you could see, nowhere in the routine didn't involve seeing the fucking sun. And for how much was I doing it for? $400 a month for 160 hours, which translates to over 2.5 whole American dollars an hour. The salary would come up to $500, but then the Georgian government wants to feel me up a bit because they think I'm a cute little white boy and tax me 20%. Taxes around another 20%, and by the end of the month, I'm left with $300, a crushed soul, and my high hopes that YouTube would work out for me because I cannot keep living like this. This customer support thing was my first job, and while most of my audience from the Western world is absolutely shocked that I was basically selling myself cheaper than a homosexual crack addict, the Eastern viewers of mine are like, ha ha ha, I've done that too. I've heard people with university diplomas make less money than me, so I felt pretty good about the cash I was making. That was until I told my manager my chair was broken and it was going to break and I would probably end up with a chair leg up my ass, and he said, "You'll be fine." So I figured they would be fine without me too and didn't show up to work again. They never paid me for that month's work, by the way. I'm still mad about that $400. I'm not going to go into details about how shitty being customer support for boomer Americans is, but it's not fun when you're solving their complaints at 2:33 a.m. And instead of going into details, I'll just tell you a story. I had a coworker sitting right next to me from Sierra Leone, one of the worst countries in the world and one of the worst countries even by African standards. He had worked this job for around 3 years and he got so fucking sick of it, he went back to Sierra Leone. Do you know how shit a job has to be for you to go back to Sierra Leone? Unbelievable. My favorite people from the US to talk to were the people in Massachusetts and Connecticut. The people from Massachusetts were either extremely nice or rich assholes. Connecticut were extremely nice or crack addicts. because there are no rich people in Connecticut. As far as I'm aware, claiming you're from New York is not a real job, and Californians were either extremely chill young people or old rich assholes. And you have to take into account with office jobs comes dumb office politics, and the fact that the bosses take advantage of them having power over employees, especially women, which is horrible because all the girls who were working as managers there were literally either current girlfriends or ex-girlfriends of the bosses there. Extremely sus if you ask me. Some internet cave people might think this is not that big of a deal and always happens, but for normal people, you realize that if your sister or girlfriend started working there, they would be treated the same way, and if they want a promotion, they would have to comply. And personally, I don't want my girlfriend being pressured by some 45-year-old bald dudes. I'm not sneaky, okay? I like my girl being with me. I started editing videos for a YouTuber named Hamza. He paid me British wages in Georgia. The cost of living here is extremely low compared to Angloland, and I was literally living like a king and making more than most people in the country. All because I knew how to use DaVinci Resolve and the internet. You might not be a coal miner in Botswana, but still hate your job. We don't discriminate with shit workplaces on this channel. On that note, nobody can convince me they enjoy being in a call center. You have to be the most psychopathic, insane sociopath to enjoy being in that environment. And I was only in customer support. You should see the guys who work in sales. The amount of cocaine they do is almost equivalent to mine on my 7-day trip to Europe. The thing with horrible jobs isn't that doing the work is that bad, it's all the office politics bullshit that comes with that. For example, my friend's friend was having a corporate party, so my friend sneaked me in there. You know how depressing a place has to be where they offer you free drinks and food and you still want to leave? I was hanging there talking shit with my friends, and then one of the managers goes up to a dude on a party and starts telling him, "You're not doing your job well enough, we need you to do better." I was in pure disbelief. I looked like that tiger from the zoo who saw what a jungle was for the first time. Imagine being so up your own ass, you start talking to a coworker, he's not doing his job well enough for like 15 to 20 minutes on a party. And I felt horrible for the dude. It wasn't like he could say anything else. He said he had university and it was tough doing both a full-time job and an engineering degree, and the manager still kept pressuring him about it. On a party, by the way. And then the manager wants to talk to me about my vape or some shit. Like, as if I didn't just witness her being an unempathetic sociopath. No amount of money in your bank account could make a normal person treat others like that. And this short-haired, Karen-ass looking woman is fucking broke. She doesn't even make that much money. But just because her paycheck is slightly bigger than this dude's, this 34-year-old decided to give a university student shit at a party for 20 minutes. And I know you might be thinking, well, Gattsu, things are different in my office. I only had to give my boss a hand job instead of the full package for a promotion. To be honest, I kinda agree, because a person close to me works in the medical field in Canada, and the employees actually have a say in how their work operations are conducted and how everything involving them runs. But that is a very rare exception. For most workplaces, if you tell your boss you want to change something, he will either tell you to fuck off or do what you wanted them to do if and only if it makes them more money, or if they are afraid of losing you as an employee, as it would be too expensive and time consuming to replace you. There is also the topic of unions, which is still considered fictional literature in Eastern Europe, and I've come up with a very simple explanation for unions. Hey Jeff, so as you know, I fired Clara because she was a bad employee. Please don't tell anyone about this. I'm begging you. I'll give you $250,000. Just please don't tell anyone. So Jeff, I'm going to need you to work a little harder, more, and of course you will be paid for your overtime work. $15 an hour instead of your usual 12. And I'm going to need you and your team to work 60 hours a week. Okay? What? You got a problem with that? Pussy? I mean, sir, that's way too long. You know what's way too long? The amount of time you spent working at this fucking company. Frankly, I'm tired of your ass and your attitude. You wouldn't want your healthcare and stock options going away, would you? No, sir. Man, I fucking hate that guy. The conditions of this job are absolutely fucking horrendous. I can't keep doing this anymore. Yeah, man, I agree. I'm so tired of this. I've spoken with the boys and they're all sick of his shit too. Brother, I got a fantastic idea. Fuck you, Elon. I'm not building your fruity ass rockets anymore. Yeah, you tell him we're all tired of your shitty work conditions. Get his ass, Jeff. Fuck his ass. Fuck his ass. Fuck his ass. Put the pinky up his butt. This situation forces Elon Musk to improve the conditions of his workplace, or else the workers would fuck his ass. His ass. So in this fictional world, he would improve the conditions so the workers get treated better and are happier with their jobs and their lives. But this is the world that I created. I'm going to show you this tweet. This tweet is so bullshit because an employer being anti-union is literally illegal, and he's saying nobody is stopping the Tesla team for unionizing. Nothing stopping Tesla team at our car plants from voting union, could do so tomorrow if they wanted. But why pay union dues and give up stock options for nothing? Our safety record is 2 times better than when plant was UAW and everybody already gets healthcare. That's like OJ saying, nothing stopping my wife from breaking up with me, could do so tomorrow if she wanted, but why get stabbed and give up her life for nothing? I already buy her purses and have sex with her. So, I hope we all understand that the amount of money you have is directly correlated to how much value you give to the world and generally how many lives you affect. But some of these job rates are actually human violations because in a lot of industries, people are extremely underpaid. But the good thing is, you could always find a better job, but it will require you a lot of bullshit. For example, it wasn't nice working on YouTube after my night shift, but that's the world we live in. So it's either drip or drown. Personally, I loved working on YouTube after those night shifts because I knew this would lead to a better future of mine. So if you're currently working a shit job that you hate, but you're working towards being in a better place in your future, such as studying a subject in university and then getting a high paying job in that field, I am very proud of you. It's not easy at all doing a job and then doing a second job, or doing a job and studying a subject in college at the same time. And it takes a person built different to do that. So I am very proud if you are in this situation, and do not worry, you will make it out and you won't have to endure your shit job anymore. The video is titled Horrible Jobs We All Worked, because most people will have to go through this period of doing things they don't like so they could have a better future in the future. Things will get better, you won't be in that call center for a long time. Thank you a lot for watching. If you want your name in the credits, consider supporting my Patreon. Thank you to all my Patreons as well, and goodbye.